everybody, Brian here for quantlabs.net. Just wanted to show you something that's kind of revealing. Just get rid of this pop-up here. Okay, headline is Indonesia still darling for investors struggling off earnings. I mentioned Philippines in my previous video. This one is quite interesting. When you look at the overall MSCI Asia Pacific Index and who are some of the leaders, just check it out here. The Jakarta Stock Exchange is just on fire right now. So you're looking at quite a bit of a difference there on a normalized rate. So just again, why you want to watch these kind of markets overall, especially in Asia. I mentioned Thailand right now is the better performing. I've also mentioned Philippines is another one to watch, and now Indonesia, okay? So let's go into the news of Apple. Apple just put out their numbers. What I want to show you is an article here that's kind of obviously important. Apple's like a treasury ETF, not in a good way. When you look at the size of the market cap, 178 billion, long-term marketable securities. They trade like another bond ETF. And essentially that sort of dwarfs Vanguard. Okay, and then that's the standard Vanguard 500 index fund. So over 5 times the size of the 70% largest fixed income ETF. So when you look at the performance, even since the recent announcement of the market, where it just took a bit of a drop and it just sort of kind of coming back. Now, I want to show you the 1 year. If this can get its act together. Okay, here's the 1 month. So here's the standard, I believe this is the NASDAQ on which Apple trades, as well as the VOO, VOO, Vanguard Index Fund. And you can see for a while, both those indices were outperforming. Now again, this is on a 5-day, or is this on a 1 month? But when you look at overall the 1 year, you can clearly see that Apple is giving, if you traded here in July, you would be up double the performance of where Apple gives you. So the question becomes, when you start to narrow down, let's say year to date, if I get this working, is it working? Yes, finally. It still outperforms since February. Now obviously this depends upon product releases from Apple, but right now Apple is not got a lot of big product in the pipeline over the next few months. The pipeline for the fall though is a redesigned iPhone 8. So that could obviously be their next big major upgrade for product cycle, where a lot of people will get these new iPhone 8s. So this performance may actually get better. But there's some other things that we should watch for Apple. But overall, whatever your take is, when you get an asset as big as one of these large ETFs, right there it's enough to just treat Apple as its own bond, as its own ETF or investment vehicle. Because I'll tell you, when you look back, see if I could do and just show you the performance. So when you look at in 08, the performance of, it's you can't even question it. This is the max going all the way back to the 80s or even 2000s. The market has performed very little, if any. But when you look at the performance of Apple, these are the sort of things you want. You don't want to be holding these little indices over the long run or even trading them. You want to be following these kind of guys that's going to make you quite wealthy. Like if you just hung on over the last 10 years, I mean, look at like that's 10 times the return over 10 years. Did your house give you that kind of return? Did your job give you that kind of return? Probably not. But this is huge. And now with Apple getting into cars, potentially satellite, and a whole slew of other things, they may have a big pipeline that we don't know anything about. But if that's the case, you may want to put some money into Apple for performance. And the other thing is they seem to be fairly recessionary proof as well. As you can see here, just on the performance in the very bad times of 08, 09. And you know what? When you factor in the price of oil, it did well in that period too. So, but let me just add oil here as an example. So oil, let me just change the color so it can be really distinctive. Orange, yeah, here we go. No, actually oil hasn't really done anything. But oil did okay in this period, 08, 09. But here, it's Apple. And I'm just trying to show you the glaring point of view. If you want to do well in the markets or just build your wealth, this is a stock you may want to include. And the performance is right there. Okay? So I want you to understand that even if the markets turn, Apple is a decent little stock to have. When you factor in performance of other stocks, top 5 stocks or market companies in the world, the highest market value are Apple, Facebook, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. And Apple is the largest, 740 billion, I believe, or somewhere in there. Google Alphabet is not far behind. But these are just companies you want to be on watching for the long run. Okay, so just putting that out there, and hopefully this will help you out. I'll talk to you later.